Okay, so let me do this here. Okay, so let's talk about the tree command. You guys went through all this, right? No, not head here. Up.
Up.
Okay, normally the tree command is not installed on most of the computers, most of the distribution. So I'm going to install it. What you have to do is just do yum install tree -y. What it's going to do is it's going to go onto the internet and grab the package and install it. Okay, so this is where it's connected to. This is where the original server is, and we are just using this putty to connect to this. Okay, so normally all this will be sitting in the data center. How are you going to be going in and out of the data center all the time? You don't want to do that, right? This is just like a remote desktop connection. You know how you do it in Windows, a remote desktop, you could like remotely connect to the another desktop in GUI mode. So instead of GUI mode, we are using PuTTY to do that, okay? So what tree command is doing, if you just type tree and type dir1, and it tells you under this directory is there, and there is another directory of file is in that directory. It's just that simple. Let's see, did we create any directory? Okay, so this is more complex here. So what tree does is it's showing you which directories are inside the directory. So this is like a quick and easy way to see what directory is inside directory. So we could see under dir2 there is dir1, and then in dir1 there is a file name password, and also there is a directory named dirx, diry, dirz. Did you get it? So if we want to go to dirz, we could use the absolute path or a relative path. So all we do is just ls and then type cd dir2, then tab. You could like autofill it, okay? I mentioned that in here, right? If you use, did I,
You have to go
I
to
didn't go that far, I
page
suppose.
6. Page 6.
Page 6, okay.
Yeah, right before page 6.
Right here, so yeah, it says here like if you know the command and if you type it partially, then you could just push a tab key on your keyboard so that it will autofill the command for you. Let me bring up the keyboard on.
You can show me how to bring the keyboard in. Last time I tried, but it did not work. So
Oh
I
no,
have to
you're
go to
going to
start.
start and type on screen. Type on screen, and I'll start typing on screen. It will come up.
Okay, I will try next time. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm kind of stuck here. I don't know what's in there. I know the previous directory. If I type D, it will autofill it, right? What if I'm stuck there? I don't know what's in there. So you could type 2 times. When you type 2 times, it will tell you what's in there. Matter of fact, it will even give you the hidden files. You see hidden files? Normally what you have to do for hidden file is ls then space hyphen la. It will give you the hidden files. So when you type this this way and then push the tab key, you could actually see it will give you the partial path where you want to go. And if you type D, it will autofill it. Suppose if you have like 2 items with the same name starting, then you could tab again and then it will shortlist those items for you. Let's go in password. Password is the only one. Okay, so we cannot go into the directory password. Why not? Because it's a
Because
file.
we're
We
already
cannot go into the file. See, all you have to do is like type it partially and then it will autofill it. And then you hit enter and then you do pwd. Okay. So can somebody tell me what is this path here that starts from root all the way here?
absolute path.
Yeah, that's correct. And And then this path,
That's the relative path.
yeah, true. Absolute and relative. I mean, we don't have to really memorize this. We just need to know what the absolute path starts all the way from root. If you remember one, the other one is the other one. You just remember that one.
Right.
Okay. Let's see here. Current. All right. So what this less is, sometimes you would have a lot of stuff in the file, right? Okay, don't worry about this. I'm going to create a file which has a lot of lines in it. So for the demonstration purpose, I'm gonna just create a file here. We're gonna go over what I'm doing a little later, okay? Okay. So we have this file here, demo1, right? Let me go inside the file. vi demo1, and then let me hit enter. So you can see you have a lot of lines in here, right? And then there is a top of the line and bottom of the line. So what less command does is, you don't want to go into the file and you just want to quick and easily you want to see uh, what's in there. So for when you type less command and hit enter, it will bring that up page by page. So normally, I mean, you don't see it here. It brings up a full page, but when you hit enter, you're scrolling down line by line. Actually, I'm sorry. Less, you could scroll down using line by line. Usually, you would be using an enter key or a space bar. So let me get out of this. And then when you type more demo one, okay, so it brings up page, right? When you hit enter, it's going page by page again. Do you see that? Scrolling up page by page. There you go. And then it will automatically quick and throws you back into the command mode. Let me clear the screen. Okay, so now we are on to tail. What does tail command do? Tail demo one. So what tail command does is by default, it brings up the last 10 lines in the file. Okay. If you look at these files, these are like last 10 lines, the bottom of the file here. So let's go and take a look in the file. And then if you scroll down all the way down here, and then it kind of matches, right, what you saw earlier. Last one was root and all this. So when you're doing system administration and you want to read a file, and then you don't want to read through whole file, right? There are some log files that are writing on the bottom of the line, bottom of the file. I'm sorry. On the bottom of the file, it keeps writing logs. If the user was denied permission, everything is getting logged, right? So it logs a line there. So the latest information would be on bottom. So that way this command will be helpful for you. You don't want to read the whole file. That file may be like 2 or 3 megabytes, 4 megabytes, 20 megabytes. You don't know that. if you don't want to scroll through all that. So you want to see, okay, let me see what was logged recently. So you just do tail and then the name of the log. It will give you at the bottom of that file what was there. Okay. So I'm using Shift and this colon key here. When you hold Shift, you push colon. Okay. That way you go back into the command mode. Push Q to quit. Same way is okay. Let me do one more time. Tail, by default it will show you bottom 10 lines, right? When you do tail -20, it will give you bottom last 20 last 20 lines. If you count these lines from here, it would be 20 lines. And you get the idea, right? If you want to change it to like 30, it will give you last 30 lines. It will give you last 30 lines. Where was our command? Our command was right here. Okay. And if you count it from there, it will be 30 lines. Same way with the head. Head demo 1. So this one is kind of cleaner here. So it gave you like first 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same thing. If you want to get like, oh, okay, let me get more lines here. So you want head -20 demo, and it will give you the first 20 lines of the file. So head means top of the file, tail means bottom of the file. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it?
Yes.
All right.
The difference between just like
All right.
less and more and head and tail. So the less is showing the end of the list or middle of the list.
No, you use a less command to scroll through one line by line. It's
Okay.
actually what it is it's reading the file on the display. You're actually not going inside the file. Do you get it?
Yes. Okay.
You're previewing the file. What we did here is less, more, head and tail. You're previewing it without actually going into the edit mode. So when we do this head 10, let me do this here. Let me do head 5. So do you see how easy it is? You don't have to like in Windows, you don't have to like sit there and open the file. It will load, and then after that, then you have to like scroll up and down. Here, you didn't even open the file. You just like previewing it. All you did is type the simple command and gave you 5 lines here, and then that way you could move faster. Oh, okay. I want to read like last 5 lines of this file, right? Okay, it gave you last 5 lines of the files. You could verify this. You could definitely go in there into the file itself. Okay, for now, you want to go last 5 files. This may be like thousands of lines in here. You don't want to sit there and then go scrolling through like this up and down, right? You don't want to do that. To avoid that, and then for your administration purposes, you just do this commands. Okay, so moving on to we'll work on WC. WC command stands for word count. So we could, let me clear this screen here. Okay, if you just type about WC, nothing happens. It's just like erroring out, right? So what you do is you quit. You could use Control C to always quit out of. If you get stuck somewhere, use Control C. Control C. It will get you out of wherever you are and then put you back into your default place where you were in, and then it will clear up all the errors and like that you had. So the command is WC, and then what we're gonna do is demo 1. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, what this word word count command did was it went through the file name demo1. Okay, and then it's giving us the information 112, and then it's giving our more some other information 987. It's giving more information 8183. So what does that mean? What it means is 112 are the lines inside demo1. So what you do is all these lines, each lines are 112. These are 112 lines in there. So it went through, it counted through, and it came back and gave us the count that there are 112 lines in there. Okay, good. So what is this here? 987. What is 987? 987 are the words in the file. So let's go back in there. So this is one word, this is one word, this is one word, this is one word, this is one word. So it went through and counted all those and then came up, and it's telling us that there are how many? 987 words in that file. And can somebody take a wild guess? What are these? 8183?
The size.
Somebody else said something?
The size. The size of the data.
Yeah. No, actually what that is characters.
Oh,
There many characters in there in the file. So a simple
The
100
character means just like
100 line.
up and down or slash smaller than these characters, or what are the characters?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What is the correct character? Just like lower than and bigger than, or hyphen or
No,
plus these signs?
characters are like this. The root, the name root has 4 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is
Okay,
5.
okay,
Each, you know how many? It's counting the lines, it's counting the words, and it's counting each and every characters, alphabets.
alphabets. Okay,
I mean, we cannot really call alphabets here alphanumerical numbers. We call
alphanumeric.
each of them are each characters. Does it make sense?
Okay. Do they have any space count something, or if they have any more space,
No,
it's
it doesn't
okay?
count the space.
Okay.
It's not counting the space. So the file goes through from the top of the file. It goes like, okay, 1, 2, 3, then goes here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It goes all the way through the file and then gives you the output. It gives you the count, right? Okay. All right. So when you do WC demo1, okay, all of a sudden you know you have 112 lines in there. You know why is this going to be helpful? Normally, this is not the size of the file. There are like thousands of lines in there. There are thousands of lines in there. If you're troubleshooting and you're going through the logs, okay, this server is having so much problem here. Let me go through the logs, and then first thing you would do is come here and look at the size of the log. Matter of fact, let's go into the logs here. Don't worry about this. I'm going to cover this later. But okay, you see this file in here, messages? That's the standard file that's logging all the error message and things like that. So let's see how big is that. Okay. You could see the size of the file in here. So actually it's 88 1,421 bytes. Okay. So it's actually 87K. So let's see here. Let me clear this. I want to use WC command to see the size of the file. Okay, look at this. Not very big. It has only, 1,040 lines in there and 12,000 characters, 12,000 words in there, and 88,000 characters. Did you get an idea? It's only 8K file. What if it's going to be like 1 megabyte, 2 megabytes, 100 megabyte file? You could definitely have to use these commands in there. Okay. So then what else we could do is we could add more handles to this command. -L stands for lines. So it will count how many lines you have in this file, okay? It will give you only how many lines you have. This is the output you get, only how many lines. When you just simply type WC, it kind of gives you all the information here. Normally I don't use -L, or you could also use -W just to give how many words you have in there, or you could do -C just to see how many characters you have in there. I'll just do a WC messages and it'll give you all my information here. What I'm really interested in, normally I'm interested in how many lines it has. It has thousands of lines. Then I could use this command to manipulate it and get the information I wanted. Okay? Clear so far? You have any questions?
For the demo files,
Pretty
do we
clear.
have to create demo file, or it's already there in the system?
No, I just created the demo file for the demo purpose.
Okay. All right.
I mean, don't concentrate on name of the file. Name of the file could be anything, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just gave the name demo1 out of nowhere. But there are some system files you will be using it to navigate through whenever you need to go through all the files or things like that. So I mean, these are like very, very basic commands. You really need to get grasp of this. So what I'll do is every day spend half hour whenever you're practicing up until like the middle of the class, like next 10 weeks. Every day come in here and practice these commands every day. And then whatever the new material you will get, then practice on that too. So the idea is they're going to be a few things that will be helpful. First of all, you would be typing in, so your typing speed will go up, and the accuracy, I suppose, and then all these commands will be on your fingertips. So you should be able to, okay, let me see what's in this directory. You just do ls. Oh, let me see if I want to get more information. You type ls-l. So all these commands should be on your fingertips. You sit at the keyboard, you should be able to start typing in and then getting information. So I think this is a pretty good document. You could use it and practice it. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me see here, translate. I in all honesty, I'm not using this command as much, but I'm going to show you what this translate means is. So let me go back to. So when you use the tr command, okay, always remember in here you see a uppercase tr. All the commands are lowercase. There are barely any. This is just the autocorrect that probably happened when I was creating the document. So if something you see in the document, it has like uppercase or something like that, try to use a lowercase. Or if it's a lowercase, try to use uppercase, vice versa, and you will get the command. I'll try to fix this document wherever I see the errors, okay? So tr means translate. What we're doing is a hyphen z and then uppercase az. Okay, let me hit enter. Okay, so we needed to output. Okay, it may be not working the way I wanted it. So you just have to type 0 and then less than sign. Exactly the way it is, and then the name of the file. So you could change the name of the file, could be anything, right? So you could give the name of a file. Okay. Can you notice what happened?
All uppercase.
All uppercase, exactly, exactly. Very good. And then the other one is all lowercase. All you type is if let's go ahead and see what's in there is uppercase. Cat, okay, let's clear this. Okay, when I give this command here, can somebody tell me what will happen?
You're gonna create a file and name demo1.
Okay. All right. So since demo one is already there, what will happen when this, when I'm going to use this command? So what will happen is, since demo one is already there, but I'm still forcing myself to write into it. So what happens is whatever you have already in that file is going to get deleted.
Right.
It's going to start fresh. So let's see here. I'm going to go apple, orange, banana, pineapple, lettuce, orange,
Recreating the max upper and lower case.
yeah. Okay, all right. I created a file here. Let's go ahead and save it. All right, so let me go ahead and see what's in the file here. Oh, there you go. See, earlier we had like 112 lines in there. Now it's all down to this one because I overwrote it with that command. So in here, you could definitely use WC demo one. There is one more file in there. Let me remove it. Okay, so WC demo one, right? When I hit enter, okay, there you go. It's telling you it has 12 lines in it, 10 words, 81 characters in it. So let's go ahead and, okay. So it's counting this blank space as a line two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it has 12 lines here and then 10 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then if you count all the characters in here from Apple, Apple has like what, 5 characters, 6 characters, then all these characters is counting up and giving you 81. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's concentrate on tr command. So let's clear this. Tr. You have to type exactly the way it is. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to do that 0 and less than sign space. So this from here all the way till here, it's a one command. You have to kind of remember it. There are some commands you just have to remember those because some commands work the way others don't. So do you see all of them are uppercase now, but it's not going to save it. It's not going to save it to the file. If you just do the uppercase or lowercase, it's not going to save it to the file. Let's go ahead and take a look. So it didn't save it. The original file is the way it is. Okay, same way. Just delete this. Okay, notice banana and pineapple are in uppercase, right? When we hit
Mm-hmm.
enter, everything is going to be lowercase. Everything is going to be lowercase. All right. So we are on to a command called sort. Can somebody tell me what is that going to do? Just reading it as a plain English, what does sort do?
It should arrange the files in a certain, arrange the lines in a certain manner.
Yeah, exactly.
Ascending or descending?
Yeah, let's see if it's going to do ascending or descending. It
Maybe
already
it's
did.
alphabetical.
Yeah, alphabetical. All right, let's see if it's going to keep the changes here. Okay, we'll do sort, and then no, let's see a cat. Okay, it didn't save the changes. It will just giving you a display. What you could do is if you want to save it, you could use this and save it to another file. Did you get it?
So did we have to give the name for the other file?
Yeah, exactly. You're right on it. So I just gave the name a sorted file. Let's see if it's gonna work.
So
It
they're
probably
making a
did
copy?
because it didn't give us an error message.
So they're
I'm
making a
sorry.
copy? They're copying, they're
What
copying
it
or they're
did was
moving, or what is it?
okay. What it did was it sorted it out and then And then if you don't use this command, this part is going to show it on the display. Instead of showing on a display, what we did was we asked them to do the sort command for this demo file, and then don't show me the output on the display. Instead of showing me the output, put that output, whatever you have, that output into this file. So let's take a look here. Okay, so it's nicely sorted out and everything, and then it's displaying you, right? It's just displaying on the screen here. This is only in the memory. What you're doing with this command is you're actually saving it to the file. So let's go and take a look at that file. Okay, there you go. So in this file, this is a permanent change. Any questions?
So instead of using Control D to save it, then this would be another way that you could do it.
Control
Or Control
D.
D is for directories. Sorry. This is for files. That was for directories.
Yeah, I mean Control D, and you are using. Yeah, you're right. You still use Control D when you're typing it live into the file. Did you get it?
What do you mean
What you're
live?
doing? Okay, let's see here. Let's create a new file.
In where we have the two files, the demo 1 and the sort demo files, or is going to be transfer all the data to the sort file and there is no demo 1 file?
Demo file is still there.
It's still there.
Yeah, but the demo file is in its original way. It's not sorted out.
Okay.
So what you did was you use this command, you sort this file, and then you're telling that file whatever the way you sort it out, put that into another file. Okay, so you could do the same thing here with this too. Remember when we did this command, it showed us on the screen, right here. But instead of telling it to show it on the screen, I'm going to tell it to put it onto another file. Put it onto the another file. Either that file is going to be existing file if it's already there, or the file is not there, it will create one for you. Okay, let's go take a look here. We're going to use the existing file. The existing file is this one here. It's all nice and sorted out, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this command, all lowercase. Remember, originally banana was uppercase, so it gave me, when we ran this command, it made everything lowercase. But it's not saved though. When you go back into the demo file just to take a look, the original content is still there. So when we manipulated the file, it's just showing it on the screen here, but it's not saving it anywhere. But we could tell the system to save it to the file name sorted. Okay, what we're doing here is sorted already has some file content in it. We're using the same exact file. When we hit this enter, it's not going to show us anything. It's supposed to show us this, but where is the output went? Where did it go? So we are
sorted
using,
file.
yep, it went into the sorted file. So when you do a simple cat means read, sorted file, there you go. It changed all the output here. So remember, banana was in uppercase. Where is it? Right here. It was in uppercase, right? Banana and pineapple. So it changed everything to lowercase, and then instead of showing us on the screen, it didn't show us here. When it ran that command, it just went back to this line here. So Then because we asked it to put it in here, we ask is don't show it to me on the screen. We're telling it to put it in this file here. So once we did that, then it won't show you anything. But we went in there and read the file using the cat command, and this is what you see. Okay. All right. So with sort command, there is a handle there you could use it. Okay. So let's see what is that gonna do. Let's do cat. Okay, we have all this in there, right? We have about 10 items in there. So let's go. What I'm gonna do is I'll do sort demo one. Then I'm using the pipe. Shift and pipe is this button right there. It's right next to delete. Shift and do this is just the line here, vertical line. And then I type unique, UNIQ. Can you tell me what will happen when you type unique? Okay,
Same, or they did some change?
okay. What unique does is anything that is repeating is now gonna show here. So what is repeating? What was repeating in the previous line? Orange, orange was repeating, right? So what it did was it sorted alphabetically, and then instead of having two oranges in there, okay, it's gonna ignore the uppercase. There are actually three oranges. One, two, three. So this is a different case and this is a different case, so it's not unique. It's going to eliminate whichever ones are like same exact duplicates. So, all right, you know what, actually, let me go ahead and edit this. I'm going to add more here for the demo purpose. And then, let's see. Okay, let's take a look here. Cat demo. So now we have these many characters in here, right? These many words. So look at this. Apple is a duplicate of this apple. Banana is there. Pineapple is there. Okay. This mango is duplicate of this mango. This mango is not a duplicate of this mango, okay? Because it's uppercase. It's not going to be a unique. This is some unique in its own, and this is unique in its own. So when we run the unique command using sort, okay, it's gonna remove anything which is duplicate. So you see mango twice in here, same exact way it's written. So it's going to eliminate one and it will just display you only one mango. Same way with blackberry. Do I have blackberry twice? No. What about blueberry? I have blueberry here, here, and here. Three times, right? But all three are different. All three blueberries are different. One is uppercase, one is blue, but B is uppercase. So all three are different. So that's why he brought it up, all three. Do you guys get the concept so far? Or
Yes.
is it too
Yes.
much? Is it too much already?
No, I get it.
Okay. It's all in here. I mean, you just don't have to freak out, you know. I mean, you just, if you start from top, because top is like you're starting and creating the file, touching file, and then you're putting some content in the file. And then what you could do here is you could actually put like 10 lines in there.
Mhm.
And then if you continue, come up from the top, come up here, it's all these are in order. All these are in order. There's no way you're gonna like get lost. Okay?
Mhm.
If you think you're lost, start from all the way from the top and come back wherever you got stuck, and then it will auto correct itself. Okay, so let's move on to grep file, grep command. So let's see here. Let me clear this and cat demo one. Okay. What grep command does is it actually grabs it for you. It's a short for grabbing is something for you. So I know I have this file here and I want to just grab something Apple, APPLE. So let's see how it's gonna work. I type grep, then I type Apple, then I'm gonna give the file name, okay? So what this is doing is grep is a command, and then Apple is an input, and then it's telling you grep Apple from the file name demo1. So when we hit enter, it's going to grab Apple. It's going to match the case also. It's going to match the case. So there are two apples that match the case. There you go. 1 and 2. Okay. Let's do it for mango. He has 2 mangoes in there. But let's do this way here. Okay. It didn't return anything because there is no such thing as mango with the uppercase M. You don't see that in there. Correct? So you get the idea. You could use it and manipulate it to, get the output and get the information you're looking for. Okay. Let's see here. I'm not gonna go over this right now because this is a little complex. I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to this in like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, you guys are not ready for this yet. Okay, so remember we stopped at grep command, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some history of Unix, and then that way we have better understanding why we're doing this and why Linux is free and all that, okay? Okay. Okay. So okay, what we are doing is learning Linux, right? where did Linux came from? So we have to understand where is it coming from. So let's see here. So actually, Linux Linux didn't exist. Before Linux, it was something called Unix. And Unix, okay, so there was one company called Bell Labs. Bell Labs created Unix. Okay, if you know who Bell Labs is, right? Bell Labs used to be AT&T. Previous name for AT&T used to be Bell Labs, and they used to be a monopoly. So they created this operating system called Unix. That was back in 1970. Okay, so they have this operating system and they want to make profit out of it, but nobody was buying it and nobody was using it. They're trying to use it internally, and nothing was being done. They know they created something awesome, but nobody's using it because nobody want to pay for it. So it sat in their business for a while now. So what they did was, okay, they want to enhance it furthermore. So what they did was they went in collaboration with Sun Microsystem. You guys hear about Sun Microsystem, right?
Yeah.
Sun Microsystem? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they are a pretty big corporation. I mean, they make Java. Did you hear about Java? Okay. So what they did was they tried to make more money out of this. So in 1987, what they did was Bell Labs and Sun Microsystem, they got together and they used the code that they had in Unix, and they made an operating system called OSV. New operating system called System V, sorry. Okay, so based on okay, so they used the source code for Unix and they made another system called System V. Okay, so that sat around for a while here, and nobody was buying it or nobody wanted to pay for it. So, by the way, this was Unix was created in it was written in binary. Okay, you all know what binary is, right? It's zeros and ones.
0, 1.
Oh, right? The computer understands nothing but zeros and ones. So that's what the binary is. Let's take a look here. Okay. All right, this is binary. No matter what you type on your screen, this is what computer understands. Zeros and ones, nothing more than zeros and ones. That's it. 10 zeros, 1 1 1 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0. It's all complex. It's beyond me. So this is how the Unix code is written. is written in binary back in 1970. Okay, so still nothing happened. So what they did was back in 1991, what they did was they just gave up on this operating system and then gave the source code to a company called Open Source. So the name of the company was Open Source. So what they did was they gave it to the open source, and then they tell them you could do whatever you want with this source code, and you could develop your own operating system. So what open source did was it made it available to general public. So once the code is out, what you could do now with the Linux code is anybody in the world could take the Linux code and then make their own Linux, make their own operating system. Does it sound fun? Can anybody do that? I'm not sure I could do it. But there was one guy, his name was Linus Torvalds. His name was Linus. He took the code and created Linux. I think he named after his name. So this guy here, let's see who is this guy. Okay, it's this guy. He's pretty young. He created the Linux operating system back in 1991. So what happened now? So what he did was he made some changes to the kernel, the source code. Actually, the source code is called kernel. Source code. So he made the source code into the kernel. I'm sorry, he took the source code and then write the kernel for Linux. Okay, whenever he created Linux, he made it free, available free. So now he made it even easier. Unix was a little bit harder, so he made it easier now. Now anybody could use this kernel. Kernel is nothing but a seed, nothing but a source code. So anybody could take the seed of this kernel or source code and then create their own operating system. Are you guys with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone created or after that.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Uh, So there are some big companies back here in 19. They took the Unix course when they made it available in 1987. Big companies like HP, HP, they HP took Unix code and they created they created their own version of operating system. It's called HPUX. Okay. Then IBM created too. IBM took it. Do anybody know this AIX? This is the IBM software. IBM operating system AIX. And then also Sun Microsystem took it. And they call their operating system Solaris. Okay, still all these are free. But for what these guys did was, for this to be able to work, you have to purchase the hardware from there. Okay, so these big companies, they took the Unix code and then they made it HP, SPUX, IBM made AIX, Sun Microsystem made it Solaris. But the catch here is these are free. But the catch here is you have to buy the hardware. So why are they going around this? They made this for free, but the hardware is not free. You have to purchase it. It's going to be sometimes in millions of dollars to purchase the hardware. So a lot of big companies, they do that. But open source says anytime you use the code, either for Unix or Linux, your software has to be free. So this is free, but the hardware is not free. Okay. Now let's talk about this is a Unix version. So let's talk about Linux. Same thing. Lot of people took Linux, but what happened was Linux ended up being hardware independent. Okay, and then let me do it this way. Linux became hardware independent, free, and it's very stable because there are groups of developers around the world who go in there and they contribute their time and their code for free because of this guy, because they initially made it to open source, and open source is the corporation that oversees the open source source code. So what their doctrine is, the operating system has to be free. And then if you want to get one from IBM or HP, you have to pay heavy price for the hardware. So now you have Linux here. So what Linux is, hardware independent, it's free, it's stable, and then it's secure. And then it also has good tools. So good tools are added. Okay,
Mhm.
are you guys with me so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so a new version is called distribution. Either it's called a new version is called a distribution, or a, a version created by somebody else, not company, or created by some other uh, distributor is called distribution. Okay, we'll take a look in next paragraph. So Linux, as of now, Linux is a generic term. Okay, but what happened? They are like other companies. They want to make profit, right? What they did was, okay, operating system is free, but when you come in for support, the support is not free. So that's how they make money now. So there are like so many versions of distribution, I should say, for Linux here. Okay, so there is a company called Red Hat. So their free distribution is CentOS. This is what we're using. And then they have Fedora. These are all different operating systems. You could just go to their website and download it for free. Okay, there is Oracle. It's called OEL. OEL stands for Oracle Enterprise Linux. And then Red Hat, RHEL. Red Hat stands for Red Hat Enterprise Linux. All these are free versions. Okay. So there is a German company called SUSE. They make a SUSE Linux. And then there is one more called Debian. So it's not limited. It's not limited to these companies here. These are just an example. In reality, there are like hundreds and hundreds of Linux distribution. I'm telling you, your iPhone, your Android, that is nothing but Linux. And other countries, they develop their own distribution and then they're using Linux. So the source code is same, the commands are similar. They may be a little bit different versions in the command, but most heavily used is Red Hat. Almost everybody is using Red Hat or Oracle, and then some are using this SUSE. If somebody is using SAP, they're using SUSE. I think this is a German company. And then Debian, I think it's a South African. And Ubuntu. Do you guys ever hear about any of these other than
Yeah.
Windows?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I even tried to play around with installing not Ubuntu, but another version of Linux, Linux Mint. You might have heard of that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other versions, like I think Raspberry, or there's a few other ones that are similar to Mint, but yeah, those are just basically for like installing on your computer as an alternative OS, to Windows because it's free. And if you just want to, test an old computer, it's great for doing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you learn enough, I mean, you could take the source code and create one your own if you are capable. I'm not sure I could do that, but
Yeah.
a lot of crazy hackers they definitely use Linux and try to hack in. Uh, that's why you hear it's easier to hack Windows than compared to Linux. It's very, very tough to hack Linux because there are like three things out there: a black hat, a red hat, and then a white hat. You already know what a black hat is, right? Black hat are hackers.
Right.
Red hat, red hats are developers. They work for money and then they develop something. I'm sorry, no. Red hats are uh, who would contribute to the Linux. And then white hats are the people who work inside the company and they try to hack and try to break their own system so that they could fix it. So a lot of big corporations, banks, Apple, Google, they have white hats. Whatever system they have, they will hire white hats to hack them and to test them and make sure there is no holes in their or bugs in their operating system or in their systems they're using.
Oh, so they're like security testers.
Yeah, security. Yeah, but these guys are really, really smart. They know everything inside out. So
Oh yeah, yeah, they're like ex-hackers, and they get hired on so that now they have legitimate jobs, um, doing what they already know how to do.
yeah, usually these are young kids, maybe under 25. They know everything and then they get the job. They don't have any degree, anything like that.
Right.
They're sleep deprived, and then they could probably hack into anywhere, anything.
Hmm.
All right. So I will upload this somewhere here in the on the website a little later, and then let's move on. Okay, let me hide him.
So what are
So
the
in here,
cloud-based software, just like Amazon and all these other Linux or something else?
all Linux, everything Linux.
So why they have all just like Amazon, it's like it's from Amazon company or some other company they using Amazon name?
Um, Mostly they're using a Red Hat. Even a big
Oh,
company like Amazon, they could develop their own, but they just use Red Hat or Oracle or whatever. They could use it because somebody already developed it, right? They developed it, they tested it. So why they want to spend time on it? It's industry standard, and the moment if there is any news, if there is a bug, anything like that, so somebody will go ahead and go in there and fix it, and then others will test it. So I mean, why you wonder why somebody is doing it? It just they are good people and they are bad people. So that's why somebody go in there and fix it for them, for others.
Yeah, but Amazon is not really software. It's just a company, and it's just like any other company. They have a website, and that website is based on a specific type of software, which most likely, like you said, is Linux. But yeah, they don't have their own software.
Yeah, I mean, they do. They could if they had their phone. Amazon came out with the phone. their tablet.
Oh
What
yeah,
are
the
the
Kindle,
tablets called?
right? Yeah, Kindle.
Kindle, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's running Linux in there.
right. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yep, it's all Linux.
Well, Linux could be as small as like 1 MB and as big as a couple gigabytes, 2, 3,
Mm,
4 gigabytes. So that's the beauty of Linux is like you could put it on the anything, the small device or the big device. The smallest device could be Raspberry. You heard about
mm.
Raspberry Pi, right?
Oh yeah, Raspberry Pi. Yeah. Yep.
And then the sensors, the Internet of Things sensors like the door sensor or things like that, right?
Yeah.
Not exactly that one, but a little bit better than those.
Hmm.
Even your little router inside your inside your home, the
Hmm.
little Wi-Fi router you have, it's running Linux.
Right. Yeah,
And then a supercomputer, the biggest, baddest supercomputer, it's running Linux.
right.
Of course, they would have their own version, so
And now it makes sense to me because I have played around with Android a little bit, and I rooted a couple of phones, and so now I see how Linux is actually running in the background. So like when you get to the root programming, it's actually Linux behind that really smooth GUI that you see.
okay. All right. So moving along, what I need to cover today is let me go ahead and clear this out. Okay. So what is this? I told you last time this is the topmost directory. Okay. When I type a tree command, everything else is under that directory tree.
Hmm.
So this is where the lifeline starts for Linux. Slash. This is a forward slash. It's a forward slash in plain English, but a technical term for this is root.
Hmm.
So what happens here is this is where the Linux starts. Linux starts in the root. Okay. Uh, okay. So root is the topmost. Okay. So it is the topmost directory in the Linux. Not to confuse with the user. User root is admin. So the topmost directory is is also root, okay, and then the the most privilege, the maximum, the full privilege that the user has is also called root. Okay, this is root.
Hmm.
When you type, let's go into root directory. This is where you go. Root directory is this directory. There is nothing. There is nothing you could go beyond that. That's where it starts. Okay, let's see what's in the root directory. Okay, so in root directory we have all these different directories. Okay, we're gonna go one by one. So there is a purpose of each directory, and no matter which distribution you see, these directories are going to be there. These are the source code, and this is where all the information will be same, no matter if it's Android or SUSE, Red Hat, Debian, Ubuntu, iOS, Mac, iMac. Okay, where is all this thing is coming from? All these directories, they're coming from nothing from Unix. It's all coming from Unix. So this is exactly what AT&T or Bell Labs they shared with open source, and once they made it available, this is what is going to be. This is where it's going to be. So let's work on a bin. So now I'm not going to go into each and every directory, but I'll talk about that, each and every directory. Okay. So what bin is actually /bin, because it's in root, right? Does it make sense to call it /bin? Yes.
Yeah, because it's the root bin file
Yeah.
or directory.
So what the bin folder has, it has all the binary commands of the user. Binary user commands. Okay, let's go into cd bin. Okay, all right, here. Do you remember this mkdir?
Mm-hmm.
It's a command, right?
Right.
It sits in this directory. It's running from this directory. pwd is a command. It's running from this directory. Okay, there are a lot of things here. We didn't even touch a lot of things in here. We're gonna touch it as we move along. Okay, so where is clear? Okay, hold on. Okay, we talk about CPs. It copies the file, right? It sits in this directory. Okay, and then we talk about mkdir. Makes the directory. Move command. It moves the file. There are a lot of other commands you could install. You could install. Some of them are not available in here. You could actually go onto the internet and install it. Okay, so for now, we are only concerned that bin directory, it keeps all the binary users command, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, let's take a look at the next directory, which is, let's see here, boot. We're going to work on boot. So what does boot directory does? It contains all system bootable files. Okay, let's go into boot. Okay, these are the files which the system uses to boot. Okay, so I mean, it's going to be hard for you to understand now, but just remember these are some files that are in the boot directory that the system reads first before loading the operating system. Okay, these are set of commands. I'm going to go over this as the class moves on. Okay, okay, let's work on dev. This directory. What is this directory?
For
Can you take a
development.
wild guess?
For development.
Uh, and also, what about devices?
Oh, devices. Yeah.
Yeah. So dev directory, it contains all the device information. So let's see if we go into dev. Okay, these are all the devices here. SDA, SDA1. These are uh, these are like physical hardware, memory. These are other stuff, other things here that I'm going to explain this later. RAM is here. Information related to RAM is here. Network is here. Console. There's a lot of information here we'll understand as we move along, okay?
Hmm.
All right. So let's move on to ETC. What does ETC contains? So ETC, it contains system configuration files, okay? Okay, let's go here. All these files are configuration files. You see .conf, if you could remember from Windows days, that .conf usually is like a configuration file, right?
Hmm.
Some of them would end up with .conf or not. It doesn't have to be. So let me go take a look here. Okay. So this is like one other configuration file, the fs tab. It contains all the hard drive attached to the system. So if you have like 4 or 5 hard drives attached to to the server, it's possible, right? You could have more than one hard drive attached.
Hmm.
This is where all the information is stored regarding those. So we'll come back to this again later. Okay. So the home directory is a directory for the users. Other than root, whoever is going to be user, the application user or the regular user, their directories is going to be in here. Their home directory. Remember our home directory was /root.
Hmm.
The users, since the root is a user, his home directory is /root. Okay. And if we have like another user, he doesn't have more full privileges, his directory will automatically go into home. And then in home, there is going to be, for this user, Ansible. His name is Ansible12. So if you create another user, his directory is going to be in here. If I create a user named Chris, his directory will start showing up here. And his home directory, the moment he logs in, he will get thrown into that directory. That's where his landing pad is, launching pad is. Okay. So if you relate this to a Windows desktop, so if you have like more than one users, when they log in into Windows desktop, they have their own desktop, right? They have their own desktop, new desktop created. They have their own files. They have their own recycle bin. Do you remember from your Windows days?
Yeah, they have their own profiles.
Yeah, you got it right. They have their own profile. This is actually creating their own profile, but we call it here as home directory.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, moving on to lib/lib. So this directory contains all the library files. So you know what the library files are? These are the shared files. These are shared files used by application and commands. So you know how in Windows things are interdependent? Same exact thing. Things are interdependent. These are like library files, and these files are shared files that are used by the applications and commands.
Right, like if you edit a registry file, then you could mess something up in the
Yeah,
operating
yeah,
system.
exactly. So don't usually when you go in here and you want to crash the system, you come here and delete something, and it will definitely crash the system. Don't do that though. Okay. What else we have there? Okay, so we have lib64, right? Lib64 is nothing but these are reserved for the 64-bit files. So if you're installing a 64-bit software, it will share those files from here. If not, it will share these files from here, okay?
Hmm.
Okay. So lost and found is nothing more than we're not worried about it. This is more like a recycle bin, and this is as media. So I'm not worried about that. So let's concentrate on OPT, okay? So OPT folder contains a third party. So it contains like third party files like SAP, uh, VirtualBox, Oracle database. You get the idea, right? This is
Right.
all, yeah. So this is all it contains.
So if you had like a brand new installation of Linux, then it wouldn't necessarily even contain anything in that directory. It would just be blank.
Yeah. You see, I mean, the OPT it's nothing but blank here. Maybe they have something from Red Hat. I think it's this is This is something I installed tree. Remember I installed tree?
Hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. It just made a folder. So this folder gets very, very big, OPT folder. The more you're gonna use, the more more things you're gonna install is gonna get big. You could come here directly and edit some files or configuration files to make it working. Okay. So let's see what else we have here. OPT. We have proc. Okay, /proc. So proc, it contains all the memory information. So what do you mean by memory information? Memory, that doesn't necessarily means just the RAM. It means that you know how if you're loading Microsoft Word, it's
Hmm.
when you're using it at the moment of you using something on the computer, it's all live. It's all held up in the memory. It's in the workstation or in a working space called memory.
Hmm.
So the moment the computer goes down, all that information is gone. So what you could do is there may be some files get stuck in the memory because some of the servers you will be working on, they would they never go down. If you look at the uptime on them, usually they are for like 1,000 days, 2,000 days, 500 days. So sometimes kill the software, but it's not gone from memory. So you could go into the memory and then manually use the commands to get rid of some files and free up some memory. You will know how when the class progress on, you will know how things are going to work. Okay, I think we already hit 2 hours already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
okay,
It's 10:30.
I will stop here and then I'll continue on tomorrow. Hopefully
Okay.
we'll have more people tomorrow. We'll have only 4 people today, huh? That's a
Yeah.
sad story.
No, they left.
They-
How many? There were more than 4?
Yeah, they were the four. Ahmad was there, and another person I think Fahad or someone.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you guys remind me. Actually, I should stop it too, because anything more than a minute, more than 2 hours is too much.
No, but they
Mm.
they left by 10 o'clock. So when you start the history, so they left at the same time.
Oh, really? Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop here and then I'm gonna upload the video, and we'll continue on where we left off. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks for
inshallah.
joining.
And tomorrow we have this new time, so we're going to be have the same
Yeah, 10 to
daylight.
12.
Yeah, daylight saving time tonight. We're going to be have changed the time.
Yeah, so we'll still keep it 10 to 12.
10, 12. Yes. Okay.
Whatever that even after the daylight saving time, whatever the local time, whatever the time is going to be on your cell phone or in a watch, then join.
Okay,
10 o'clock.
inshallah. Okay.
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 Assalamu
All right.
alaikum.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay.